Well, hello, it's Chris back, otherwise known as Xavier Ford, with where are we up to now? A day in the life of 6. Anyway, today is a Wednesday, it's lunchtime, in the middle of doing my calls for the day. Early start 7:30 and probably be back home 6:30 tonight or thereabouts. Yes, so in the last video I was speaking about a gentleman who had come home from hospital palliative care. A little bit further about the nuts and bolts of what we do as carers in that situation, and I will use him as a prime, very recent example. When clients get to this stage, it usually becomes a double up, so there'll be 2 carers that will visit him together, because there normally is a lot of manual handling, and if someone cannot get themselves to stand up from a chair or bed, then there are lots of health and safety issues which will have to be thought about. So in this particular case, on that particular day, in fact I went to see him twice as a double up. He needed a lot of assistance. In between him coming home and when I last saw him, which was roughly between 10 days and 2 weeks previous, I think it was near 12, but anyway, from going when I last saw him having fantastic mobility, but with severe back pain, he was more or less very immobile. He had lost that completely and was using a Zimmer frame to get about with, and to stand up. He had to use that to assist himself to stand up. Rather busy road today, and he was very wobbly, and so it's best to have 2 people there, one to support and reassure, one to make sure that any paths from A to B as far as walking is concerned are clear. And as I said in the previous video, with 2 of us there, we can get the visit done quicker, and so that always leave space, free people up to go and visit other clients. Anyway, this gentleman, he was in his hospital bed at home, and so we got him stood up, gave him a full strip wash, dry, and then back into his pajamas and other day wear on top to keep him warm. And he also wanted to go from his hospital bed to his table and chair to sit at the table, which that was a 2-person job in its own right. Of course, when people do get discharged from hospital, I mentioned a discharge letter. At the end of discharge letters, this is where the office work comes in a way, the paperwork. I'm not a fan of paperwork, but it has to be done, and rightly so. Things have to be documented and recorded. Discharge letters, certainly in this area, towards the end of the discharge letter, there is a section of changed medications, and medications which will remain in place. And so this has to be translated into a MAR, which is a medicines. Well, it notes the medicines. It's what we shall give every day as asked for by either the GP or, in this case, hospital. Medicines administration record. It nearly escaped me, and it's surprising how long paperwork does take to write all these out. 1 medication per line, when it's given, how strong it is, and then we also do an audit of all the medications that come in, count them up, and so we can keep tabs as to whether medication may have been mistakenly missed, or given by a family member, or even overdosed, which very rarely happens. The form we fill in, which is a pre-templated form, is very clear and simple to read, and obviously when we administer a medication we sign it off for that particular visit. So reading through the discharge letter, as I did while my colleague attended to the client, while there was time to do that, also documenting and taking copy of the discharge letter. There's also TEP, which is Treatment Escalation Plan, which you and I can fill in every time we want, and we can have a new one every day if need be. And what that is well, first of all, anyone, even I could do one now. I could change my mind and do one tomorrow. It's a plan of action for someone if they fall ill at home. If it's a rather severe sudden illness like a heart attack, you can, the medical people, the paramedics will come along and they will find this form, this plan. Usually it's kept in the front of care notes. Some people keep them sort of magnetised to a fridge door, and it just tells the first attender, the first responders, what the person wants in case they need resuscitating. Now, if you reach an advanced age and you know you're very ill, you may not wish to be resuscitated. You may need to have want to have a dignified death. Others will want to be resuscitated. There are some where it's not advised to be resuscitated because of the rib injuries that could be caused. But the choice is yours, and it's something that will be spoken with a client or a patient in hospital. They shall go through this form. It's only a 2-page form, but they shall go through this with a doctor, and the client or the patient's wishes are noted on this form, so that when paramedics or first responder, worst case scenario, find someone unconscious on the floor not breathing, if they wanted to be resuscitated, then it would be on the form. If they want to be left alone and left to have passed on, their wish is their command. So anyway, all that paperwork was recorded and sent up to the office, and that was on Saturday morning. And I saw the patient, my client, on Saturday lunchtime, and the district nurses had been in after us, and they'd increased his oxycodone driver, which oxycodone is it's not a morphine. It's similar to the stuff what you get in poppies, in layman's terms. And both morphine and oxycodone are very, very addictive. But the oxycodone sort of blocks in layman's terms, blocks the signals between your brain and where you're having pain. And it's also a great relaxant. It's quite commonly used. Anyway, one of the district nurses had upped his dosage. Poor chap was in severe pain with his back. As I may have said in the previous episode, he had fractures in 2 bones in his back. He was stage 3 cancer, and he had cysts around his stomach. He had problems with the gut. He was pain-free. He was in much pain when I saw him in the morning, but when I saw him at that lunchtime, he was back in bed, curled up, comfortable, warm, clean, being fed, and he looked very peaceful. Now, today being Wednesday, you probably guess what I'm going to say. I got a phone call yesterday morning to say he had passed on, which was quite a little bit of a shock to this one, considering that his discharge letter said that he had much longer to go. But he'd got home, he had his wish, he got home, he was pain-free, and he died in his own home overnight. There was a sitting service with him at the time, I understand, as well. But this one was quite taken aback. I shall miss this gentleman. We were great friends. The friendship relationship and the professional relationship, we got on extremely well. I'm told he thought the world of me, and he will forever be a part of me. A really lovely gentleman. But these things happen. I'm just happy that he didn't have a long, drawn-out process at this stage of his life. Smashing family, great support, platinum service he had as well. Anyway, on that note, say that's a little bit all nuts and bolts that we do. As I say, on that note, look forward to seeing you again for the next one. In the meantime, take care. See you at the next one. Bye for now.